Hi guys, today we are going to learn an important clinical topic. Let's imagine about a successful dentist. What makes him successful? What is the first thing that clicks your mind when I say a successful dentist? His clinical skills. And how he acquired its clinical skills? By giving minute details in his work, by giving that finish in his work. Makes him successful. So yes, today we are going to talk about an important part of those minute details, that is finish lines. So what is a finish line? Whenever you are preparing a tooth, you give an appropriate finish line. What a finish line is? It is nothing but a peripheral extension, or you can say a line of demarcation or a plant junction. This is a prepared tooth and the external tooth surface, and this area is the finish line. The next question in my mind is, how must be your finish line? Your finish line must be smooth. It should have adequate contour. Secondarily, it should be conservative. Why it need to be conservative? It should not go for extra reduction of the tooth. Always we should preserve our tooth structure. Then it should not cause destruction to the tissues. It should not hurt the gingiva. That is certain peculiar characteristics which you need to maintain while giving a finish line. Then comes why you need to think about so many things about the finish lines. Mainly your patient expects the crown should last for a longer time. That's why by maintaining those points you can maintain the structural durability, marginal integrity. What is marginal integrity? That is when you are giving a crown in this area and imagine there is a gap in this area. In that gap, the saliva, the other fluids, the carious products goes from that gap and further leads to the failure of your crown, which we don't want. That's why we need to give a proper finish line for avoiding the marginal leakage and giving a proper marginal integrity. That's why this topic is important. And we should know what is a finish line, why we need to give a finish line, and how your finish line must be. So now I will give you the classification about different finish lines. So this is your tooth structure and this is the finish line. When the finish line is above the gingival portion, that is this, then it is called as supragingival finish line. When it is at the level of gingiva, then it is called as equigingival finish line. And when it is below the level of gingiva, then it is called as subgingival finish lines. Why you need to categorize the finish lines as sub, equi and supragingival? Basically, subgingival finish lines are given in the areas where you want the aesthetics, like in anterior teeth. Whenever you are giving a tooth, it should have the emergence profile. It should look good on the patient. That's why you need to go for a subgingival finish line. Or if there is caries in this region or there is cervical erosion, to hide that, to remove that, you need to go for a subgingival finish line. But there is a disadvantage of this finish line, that is it leads to more destruction as well as there is tissue damage. That's why sometimes this finish line is being avoided. Then comes the supragingival finish line. The supragingival finish line is considered as a conservative one. Why? Because it is above the tissue surface. Obviously, it will not disrupt the tissues. Secondarily, less tooth structure is being cut. That's why it is considered as good. And it is, you can easily see that, you can easily demarcate it and easily reproduce it. Like when we are taking the impression, it is easy to reproduce that finish line. But when it comes to subgingival margin, you need to retract the gingiva by a gingival retraction cord, and then you can record it in your impression. Then it becomes difficult to record that compared to the supragingival. That's why supragingival is the more preferred finish line. Then comes equigingival. What do you mean by equigingival? That is at the level of the gingiva. In equigingival, there are chances of tissue destruction if your hand is not that skilled. That's why some people prefer supragingival than equigingival finish line. Now I will tell you according to the different crowns why we need to give different types of finish lines. So first finish line I am going to explain you is shoulder finish line. So this is the prepared tooth and this is the external surface of the tooth. The angle made by the prepared tooth and the external tooth surface is 90 degree. That is, it is a butt joint. Whenever you are giving a shoulder margin, it is a butt joint. Secondarily, there is more tooth reduction. Generally, shoulder margin is the one which is considered as the least conservative. Then why you are giving that? Basically, shoulder margin is advised in cases when you have a thick crown like a ceramic. The ceramic to rest on the tooth require more room than the metal. That's why you need to reduce more tooth and that's why you need to give a thicker margin, that is the shoulder margin, for maintaining adequate support. That's why it is 90 degree. Then comes different forms of the shoulder. When this angle goes to 120 degree, then it is called as sloping shoulder. Why sloping? And why you need to give a 120 degree angulation? Because sometimes in this type of 90 degree, there is unsupported enamel. This is enamel lipping. Enamel lipping should be avoided. That's why when we are giving a 120 degree angulation, there is less enamel lipping. Another form of the shoulder line is radial shoulder. The radial shoulder is something, you can see that this angle is very sharp. In the radial shoulder, what we do, we just round this angle. This angle is being rounded. If we round this angle, then it is called as radial shoulder. So what happens? There are less stresses in this area and there is less stresses on the crown. Then important, there is shoulder with bevel. So this is your crown and we just make a slanting over all over the area, preparing a 5 degree or 15 degree, accordingly a bevel. Bevel can be 15 degree, 5 degree, 45 degree or 30 degree. So this is the tooth structure and I am giving an extra bevel. So you can see that this is my bevel and this is my margin. Why to give a bevel? The bevel is given in cases if there is cervical erosion in this area or if there is any caries. There will be gap if we will only give the shoulder margin and there will be marginal leakage because the contact between the margin and the crown will be not adequate to cover the whole portion. So we need to go for a bevel. That bevel will maintain the proper contact with the external tooth surface, which will prevent the further marginal leakage and will maintain the structural durability. That's why we are giving a bevel, whether it is a shoulder or a chamfer. Then this was about the shoulder margin. The shoulder margin, the shoulder with bevel, sloping shoulder and radial shoulder. Now we will see about the chamfer margin. So in the chamfer margin, you can see the angulation is obtuse. That is more than 90 degree. And the chamfer margin is thin, that to that of shoulder. Then when to choose shoulder and when to choose chamfer? Yes, it is thin, that means it will accommodate only metal. It cannot accommodate metal with ceramic because it will increase the thickness. That's why when we have to give a metal or in the metal ceramic crowns, the lingual area is being given as a chamfer margin. The angle is obtuse, that is more than 90 degree. Sometimes when you are reducing a chamfer, the most important thing you need to remember that you are using a round and tapered burr. So whenever you are reducing, you should not reduce more than half the width of the burr. If this is the burr, you should not reduce more than half. If you will reduce more than half, that is when you are using burr in this area and more than half is being reduced, there is a creation of a lip. That is again unsupported enamel and we don't want that. That's why you should always maintain this point while preparation. Then one more is there, that is heavy but it has a large radius, means it is covering a large or wide area, then it is called as heavy chamfer. Then comes the feather edge, or you can say the knife edge margin. As the name says, feather edge, or you can say knife edge. Have you seen a knife? How is the edge? It is sharp. That means it is given very thin cases, when we have to give a very thin margin or very thin support. Again, important thing that feather edge is the most conserved margin, because very less amount of tooth structure is being reduced at the area of the margin. So this is the tooth and this will be your margin. It will be like a edge of a knife. That is knife edge, or it is, you can say, feather, small touch. That's why it is called as a feather edge and is the most conserved one. Where it is used in cases of 3/4 crowns. Then comes the next is chisel edge. Have you seen the chisel? The chisel has something like this end. Chisel edge, where it is preferred? If you see, when there is excessive taper of the crown, there is a taper. In that case, we are giving a chisel end of margin, so that we can maintain the adequate support in that taper, because the excessive taper teeth or taper preparation is not acceptable. We will go for a chisel margin in cases of tilted or tapered preparations. So this was about the margins and how you decide where to give which margin. How's the thickness of the margin? How the margins are being classified on the basis of thickness. So there is one more classification. When your margin is 0.3, less than 0.3, then it is feather edge. When it is equivalent to 0.3, then it is chamfer. And more than 0.3, it is shoulder. 0.3 is the width. That is a considered width which is being comparing all the margins. So in short, I have explained you about why we need to study about the finish lines, what we need to know about the finish lines, where we have to give which finish lines, and this will give you an appropriate clinical planning and good treatment to your patients, maintaining the structural durability and marginal integrity and other geometric forms. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment box or you can mail me. Thank you so much, and if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.